ask first in terms of, obviously his case this week of integrating the Wales boys back. Have you got them all available this weekend?
There's a few of them that are carrying a few bumps and bruises from the autumn internationals, so they weren't able to take part in today's training session. So I think we have a day off tomorrow, so we'll be looking to make a better assessment on them on Thursday. So fingers crossed that they're going to be fit and available to play. But you know, they're carrying a few bumps and bruises from their campaign, and as we are from the Munster game.
Yeah, I suppose we're talking about obviously Dan Bigger came off early and Justin missed the game as of Friday. Those two being ruled out, or they in contention? Or?
Yeah, you know, we'll have to wait until Thursday for that. But they haven't been able to take part in any training in the early part of the week, so you know, you'd have to say at the moment they're doubtful.
And what about Darling Wynn and Dan Lydiard and those as well?
Similarly, you know, again, they've had a pretty tough campaign, and with some pretty against some pretty high class opponents, and they've come back with a few bumps and bruises. So we're going to have to take that from a day by day scenario, and hopefully they can take part in training Thursday, and then you know we can select the team.
I suppose it's not an ideal scenario when you're going into a game you have to win to stay in the competition.
It's not ideal, but you know, we knew when the fixture list came out it was gonna. There's always that risk when you commit a big group of players to the national team, that when they come back you're going straight into another high octane encounter in the Champions Cup. So yeah, it is what it is, but I think for our guys, even coming off the back of a pretty physical test at Munster, I think it's more about freshening up the bodies so that you know we can get ready to give our all up in Franklin Gardens.
What's the mood in the camp? Nicky was in here earlier and really positive about where things are going. What's it been like in this kind of?
I'd be dishonest if I didn't say, you know, it's been tough. I think you know, coaches and players, you know, we all feel a great degree of responsibility for where we are in terms of our performances and in the table. We definitely feel the pain for our supporters who are frustrated. So in this sport, you know, you want to come back in off weekends, off good performances and wins, and continue with that positivity. But you know, we're not in that position. So it still is, and it has been a really challenging period for us. And this is where we have to, you know, I thought Bradley Davis spoke brilliantly after the game in saying we are a tight group, and you know, we go out in the training field and we're trying to improve our game and look to try to improve our performances, and then equally hopefully the outcome will be more positive for us. But at the moment, confidence is probably a tad low, and when confidence is low, every error you seem to make out in the game against top quality opposition like Glasgow and Munster, they really punish you, and that's where we're at the moment. You know, you could count, I think, the amount of tries we've conceded in the last two fixtures. You know, we make an error inside our 22 and we miss a tackle, and then there's a score. You know, so that's where we are at the moment, and it's about us working hard. And I know if we keep working hard out in the training field and we keep trying to give our 100% out in the field, the worm will turn eventually.
Do you, if you knew where it was going wrong, it obviously wouldn't be there. But is there any one theme you can point to? Because there's an Ospreys up to last March, and there's a different one from the end of last March until the present day.
I don't think you can put your finger on one thing or another. I'd rather sort of stay focused on this season, if I may. I think confidence is an overly used word in sport, but winning breeds confidence, and then you generally when you're playing with a confidence and a swagger, the rub of the green seems to fall your way equally. Losing games consecutively can, your confidence can sap a little bit. And I thought out in Munster, we showed loads of endeavour, and I thought we showed a lot of intent, but we have moments where we shoot ourselves in the foot, whether that be an exit, a drop ball in our 5 metre line, a lost line out followed by a missed tackle, and the opposition are away from home and you're 14 points down, and then that's when the lack of confidence can really tell in your team, and the guys then try harder. The harder they try, sometimes the worse it gets, and it's this repetitive cycle that we really need to break. My personal belief is that I think when you are low on confidence, you've got to strip back your game. You've got to become an outstanding side from your try line to the 22 metre line in your exits, so that you're clinical there, and you've got to be outstanding from their 22 to their try line, so that you come away with points. And I think if we can focus on those two areas and strip our game back and be outstanding in those two areas, that mid-third should be able to look after itself, and I think that's where we need to focus our attention.
So do you think, are you hopeful these two games, the double-header, can galvanise your season, and do you think you can still get through to that last 8, given you've picked up losing bonus points in the first 2?
Yeah, I think the bonus points in the first 2 games have still given us an opportunity. In saying that, Northampton away, I know they're in a run of form at the moment, and speaking of confidence, they've in their last 2 performances, they've been in with a shout at the back end of the game and not been able to get the job done. If they were right in their swagger at the start of the season, barring their first game, they probably would have been able to get over the line, but they're a little bit low at the moment. So in saying that, I think you're going to have 2 desperate teams. Franklin Gardens still is a very tough place to play, and we're going to have to be very accurate in our execution in those areas of the field that I just mentioned before, our 0 to 22 and their 22 to try line. So I think that, if we can get the job done come Saturday, well, it's going to set up for a great return match. But I think equally say, if we don't get the job done on Saturday, we're probably done and dusted in this group, which is a very tough group, as we knew at the start.
So first time we've spoken to you since the new additions, Scott Williams, Ala Davis. How buoyed, how excited are you by those signings? Yeah,
I think they're brilliant signings for the club. I think it shows that the board have shown a determination to invest and improve our squad. They're both excellent signings. I think it shows that the players who are high quality players that want to come and want to work under this, within our structures that we have at the Ospreys. And I think, I think it's more of a big statement of intent that, we are having a tough season. We have to invest in the squad. We have to improve parts of our squad, and that the Ospreys we're not going to sit still and just wait for things to happen. We have to make things happen.
Wayne Pivac this morning said that Kieran Fonatia, who's going the other way, hasn't done well in the environment he's been in. What do you say when you hear comments like that? I mean, what sort of player is Kieran Fonatia? Are you surprised that Wayne Pivac would have? I've
not read those. That's the first I've heard. So yeah. Can you? What did he say?
He hadn't done well in the environment, being the Ospreys, since coming from New Zealand.
Yeah, I think the first year for Kieran was pretty tough. I think he was coming back off a very long season, didn't get a big break, and we didn't really get the opportunity to see the best of him. I think this season it's been a little bit stop-start for him. Obviously, he's represented Samoa in the internationals, so I think those breaks really don't give sometimes a player who comes to a new country a real opportunity to get used to everything. Kieran as a player, I got a lot of time for Kieran as a player. I think he's shown glimpses of his footwork and his power. In saying that, unfortunately, we've not seen that over consecutively in because of these reasons of whether it's been injury or representing internationally. But I think the Scarlets have acquired a tidy acquisition, as equally as I think we've acquired an outstanding acquisition.
Just a final one for me. There's some rumour regarding Ellis Jenkins that he's another player that the Ospreys are courting. Anything to report on that? Is that imminent, or is it?
Yeah, I'd have no information on that. If you're asking me about Ellis Jenkins, the player, what I think of him, he's a quality player, and if he was available, do you know what I mean? I think he'd be another great acquisition if that was the case. But I'm not involved in those discussions.
But is Ashley back this weekend?
Again, he's another one that he picked up an abductor strain a couple of weeks ago, so hasn't been able to train for the first 2 days. So we are pretty much at the moment down to our bare bones. But hopefully Ashley can come through some protocols on Thursday and then be available for selection. So yeah, if he's fit, he's going to be in the frame.
So he's in the mix then
if he can get through training. So I wish I could have some more concrete information, but I really don't, because we're training, like I said, really with a broken squad at the moment in terms of our bodies, and we're trying to make the best of it.
Where else do you think the Ospreys need to recruit for next season?
Oh, I just think it's a good question. No, I think we need to improve. I think our overall depth of the squad, because we contribute so much to the national team. When you go into those windows, I think we need to improve underneath that squad. I think Steve's already signing Scott and Allard. I think are fantastic signings. Possibly a back rower, possibly another centre, back three player. So there's only there's not a money tree out the back that we can go and pick it off. But I think there's a real statement of intent from our board and from Steve, to go out there. It's a real message of confidence that those players want to come and play for the Ospreys, and I think we can grow and move things forward.
In terms of the Saints, you mentioned obviously their run of form as well. You say stripping back to basics, obviously their default for a number of years has been their forward drumble and the pack. Do you see them, that's the era they're going to come at you on the weekend in terms of their driving more and putting the squeeze on it for?
Yeah, I think looking at the group, both sides, we need to win the game. Yeah. If we have any intention to progress in the group. I think their forward pack is notoriously a traditional strength of theirs, and I have no doubt that they're going to be very well drilled in that department. I think they'll try and squeeze us on field position, and I think it could be a similar game of trying to counteract each other. And I think the sides that is probably most accurate in those areas of the 22s at either end of the field, who can be accurate on their exits and who can actually punish the sides by coming away with points in the opposition, I think we'll be able to come away with a win. But the forward packs are going to have a massive say in that, as they do in every game. Defensively, we've got to sharpen up, because it's unacceptable where we've the amount of tries that we're leaking at the moment. So we need to, and it's my responsibility, we need to pick that up.
So just going back to recruitment, is that the target then, that you've seen it's obviously tough when you lose players to Wales? Are you aiming to be then in a better position to cope with that? Is that where your recruitment's about, just adding depth across the board? Yeah,
I think there's an opportunity to add quality to the what you'd say probably be your starting 15 or your starting 23, but obviously that second choice, that third choice, improving that in that quality, and also how we can improve that quality with our young players as well. So bringing our young players up, so that when we do lose players to the Wales squad, that we're able to just, in a way, substitute like for like. That would be the ideal scenario. I've been in organisations before, where you aim for three top end players for every position. We're not in that position, but again, I think the statement of intent from the recruitment side of things from Steve and the board is outstanding, and I think we can add two or three more guys to that mix. I think is going to hold us in good stead, and will show that we're a club moving forward, not stagnating.